How are you guys doing? Today is Monday, April 18th, 2022. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review yesterday's Elite matchups and performances from Sunday, April 17th, 2022. Before I get into what's going on today, I'm going to take a quick step back and look at where we are in the year. We are still in the first round of the NBA playoffs for about a week or two. Taking a look at what's going on with baseball, we are still within the first couple of weeks of the MLB season as it's brand new. Taking a look at what's going on with soccer, we are just through yet another weekend as we are inching closer and closer away towards the end of the soccer season, which is about a month away in the big countries in Europe. So, with that said, I'm going to start with the NBA playoffs. There were 4 round 1 games yesterday, starting in Miami with the 1-8 matchup. The 1-seeded Miami Heat would host the 8-seed Atlanta Hawks after the Hawks were able to beat the Hornets and the Cavaliers in the play-in game to make it here. The Heat would beat the Hawks in game 1, 115-91. They would go on to win game 1 by 24 points after they outscored the Hawks by 13 in the second quarter. They were up by 19 at half. The losing end of this matchup, the Atlanta Hawks were led in scoring by their starting power forward, Danilo Gallinari. He finished with 17 points and 5 rebounds in 29 minutes. He shot 5 for 12 from the field and made all 6 of his free throws. The Hawks starting power forward off the bench, John Collins, and their forward off the bench, Kevin Knox, the second, each finished with 10 off the bench. Their starting small forward, DeAndre Hunter, finished with 14 points in 35 minutes. Their elite starting point guard, Trae Young, finished with 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 6 turnovers in 28 minutes. Trae Young shot 1 for 12 from the field and 6 for 7 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the first seed game, the hometown Miami Heat, were led in scoring by their shooting guard off the bench, Duncan Robinson. He finished with 27 points in 23 minutes. He shot 9 for 10 from the field. He shot 8 for 9 from 3, and he made his only free throw. Their elite starting small forward, Jimmy Butler, finished with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals in 33 minutes. Butler shot 9 for 15 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and he would shoot 2 for 7 from the free throw line. Miami starting power forward, PJ Tucker, finished with 16 points and 5 rebounds in 24 minutes. And then their starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, finished with 10 points, 9 assists, and 2 steals in 29 minutes. With this win, the top seed Miami Heat out east are leading this series 1-0, as they are now 3 games away from making it to the second round. And with this loss, of course, the Atlanta Hawks need to win 4 games from here to make it on to that next round, where they'd face off against the winner between the 4th seed Philadelphia 76ers and the 5 seed Toronto Raptors. Taking a look at what happened in the 2-7 matchup in the East, these 2 seed Boston Celtics would host the 7 seed Brooklyn Nets. In a game that went all the way down to the end, it would be Jason Tatum who won it for the Boston Celtics, as Jason Tatum would help them win 115-114 to take game 1. They won it by 1 after they outscored the Nets by 11 in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Nets were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard out of Duke, Kyrie Irving. He finished with 39 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals in 42 minutes. Kyrie shot 12 for 20 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3, and he made all 9 of his free throws. The Nets' goated starting power forward, Kevin Durant, finished with 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 turnovers in 41 minutes. He shot 9 for 24 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the free throw line. The Nets' point guard off the bench, Goran Dragic, finished with 14 points and 5 rebounds in 26 minutes. And then their power forward, Nicholas Claxton, off the bench, finished with 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks in 31 minutes. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Boston Celtics were led in scoring by their elite starting small forward out of Duke, Jason Tatum. Tatum finished with 31 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers in 45 minutes. He shot 9 for 18 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and 10 for 12 from the foul line. The Celtics starting shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, finished with 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals alongside 2 blocks in 40 minutes. He shot 9 for 19 from the field. He would go on to shoot 4 for 6 from the free throw line as well. The Celtics starting point guard Marcus Smart out of Oklahoma State would finish with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals in 36 minutes. He shot 8 for 17 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3. The Celtics starting center out of Florida, former back-to-back college champ Al Horford, finished with 20 points and 15 rebounds in 41 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field. He made both of his three-point attempts, and he made both of his free throw attempts. With this win, the 2-seed Boston Celtics now lead this series 1-0, as they are now 3 games away from making it to the second round. With this loss, the 7-seed Brooklyn Nets are 4 games away. They are 4 wins away from making it into that next round. Game 2 between these two teams will be on the 20th on Wednesday on TNT. Taking a look at what happened in the third game one, the defending NBA champs, the Milwaukee Bucks, as the 3rd seed, hosted the 6th seed Chicago Bulls. In this matchup, the Bucks would beat the Bulls 93-86. They would win this game by 7 after they outscored the Bulls by 13 in the first quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Bulls were led in scoring by their starting center, Nikola Vucevic. He finished with 24 points, 17 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 39 minutes. He shot 9 for 27 from the field, and he would go on to make 4 of his 5 free throw attempts on the night. The Bulls' all-star starting shooting guard, Zach Levine, would finish with 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 6 for 19 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3, and he would make all 4 of his free throws. The Bulls' all-star starting small forward out of USC, DeMar DeRozan, finished with 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals in 43 minutes. He shot 6 for 25 from the field, and he made all 6 of his free throws on the night. Off the bench, the Bulls' point guard out of North Carolina, Kobe White, finished with 12 points in 23 minutes. On the winning end of this matchup, the defending champs Milwaukee Bucks at home were led in scoring by their elite starting power forward, the NBA's reigning NBA Finals MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He would go on to finish with 27 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers in 34 minutes. The Greek Freak shot 10 for 19 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and he made 6 of his 11 free throws on the night. The Bucks starting center out of Stanford, Brook Lopez, finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 32 minutes. He shot 7 for 14 from the field and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Their starting point guard, Drew Holiday, finished with 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals in 39 minutes. He shot 6 for 16 from the field and made both of his free throws. The Bucks' all-star starting small forward, Chris Middleton, finished with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 7 turnovers in 39 minutes. He shot 4 for 13 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3, and he made both of his free throws. Off the bench, the Bucks center, Bobby Portis, finished with 10 points and 12 rebounds in 23 minutes. He shot 3 for 8 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and he made 2 of his 4 free throws on the night. With this win, the 3-seed Milwaukee Bucks now hold a 1-0 series lead over the 6-seed Chicago Bulls. Game 2 will be in Milwaukee on the 20th in a couple of days. That'll be on TNT. The Bucks are 3 wins away from making it to the second round, and with this loss, the Bulls still need to win 4 games to make it through. Last but not least, looking at the 1-8 matchup in the West, the NBA leading Phoenix Suns would host the New Orleans Pelicans after the Pelicans would have to win their 2 matchups against the Spurs and the Clippers in order to make it into this round. The Suns would end up beating the Pelicans 110-99. They won this game by 11 after they outscored the Pelicans by 12 in the first quarter. They were up by 19 at half. On the losing end of this matchup, the New Orleans Pelicans, the 8th seed, were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard CJ McCollum, who played for the Trailblazers at the beginning of the year. McCollum finished with 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in 43 minutes. He shot 9 for 25 from the field. He would shoot 3 for 8 from 3, and he would make 4 of his 6 free throw attempts on the night. Their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas, would finish with 18 points and 25 rebounds in 31 minutes. He also added 3 assists on the night as he shot 7 for 21 from the field and 4 for 6 from the free throw line. The Pelicans' elite starting small forward, Brandon Ingram out of Duke, finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 turnovers in 39 minutes. BI shot 6 for 17 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line. The Pelicans power forward off the bench, Larry Nance Jr., finished with 14 points and 6 rebounds in 20 minutes. On the winning end of this matchup, the 1-seed Phoenix Suns were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard Chris Paul, who was originally drafted by the Pelicans franchise when they were the New Orleans Hornets. With this win, or in this matchup, the Phoenix Suns elite starting point guard would finish with 30 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and 3 steals in 35 minutes. The NBA's assist per game leader would finish shooting 12 for 16 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and he made both of his free throws on the night. The Suns' elite starting shooting guard, Devon Booker, finished with 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists in 41 minutes. He shot 8 for 19 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and he would shoot 5 for 6 from the foul line. The Suns' starting center and former number 1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, finished with 21 points and 9 rebounds alongside 4 blocks in 34 minutes. He shot 10 for 15 from the field, and he made his only three-pointer. The Suns' shooting guard, small forward off the bench, Cameron Johnson, finished with 13 points in 23 minutes. And then their starting small forward, Mikal Bridges, would finish with 11 points and 5 rebounds alongside 2 blocks in 38 minutes. With this win, the top seed Phoenix Suns are now they're now 1-0, leading this series over the 8 seed New Orleans Pelicans. The Suns need to win 3 more games. The Pelicans need to win 4 in order to make it to the second round of this series. Game 2 is going to be tomorrow on TNT. So right now we are through all game 1s in the first round of the 2022 playoffs, as every single team has at least gotten 1 game in. Taking a look at what's going on today, because today is Monday, there are going to be 3 primetime games today. First on TNT at 7:30. In the Eastern Conference, the 4-seed Philadelphia 76ers are going to host the 5-seed Toronto Raptors. Right now, the Sixers lead this series 1-0. And then, of course, taking a look at what is going on in Game 2, or look at the second game of the day, the 4-seed in the Western Conference, the Dallas Mavericks, are going to end up hosting the 5-seed Utah Jazz. And then taking a look at what is going on third at 10 o'clock on TNT in Chase Center. The 3-seed out west, Golden State Warriors, are going to host the Denver Nuggets as the Warriors lead the Nuggets. And then going back, the Jazz are leading the Mavericks at the moment. But, of course, after these games, some of these teams could be 1 game closer to making it into that second round. But those are the 3 games that we have today out of the 8 matchups that are currently being played in this round. Taking a look at what's going on in the MLB, starting off in Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles would end up shutting out the Yankees 5-0 after scoring all 5 of their runs in the 8th inning. On the losing end of this matchup, the New York Yankees were led out by their starting pitcher, Nestor Cortes. Cortes would allow no earned runs off of 3 hits in the 5 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 12 batters and only walk 1 on the day. The loss would go to the Yankees setup relief pitcher, Jonathan Loaisiga. Loaisiga would allow 4 runs off of 2 hits in the as he pitched 1 whole inning. He would be pulled in the 8th. With this loss, he's now 0-1 as he picked up a strikeout and 2 walks. With this loss, Loaisiga goes 0-1. In the Yankees batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their elite first baseman, DJ LeMahieu. He went 2 for 3 as he also had a walk on the day. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Baltimore Orioles were led out by their starting pitcher, Bruce Zimmerman. Zimmerman would allow no earned runs off of 4 hits in the 5 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 6 batters and walk 2 on the day. The win went to the Orioles closer, Jorge Lopez. Lopez allowed no earned runs in the last 2 innings of the game. He didn't allow a hit either. He would strike out 2 batters in the 8th and 9th inning, and with this win, he's now 1-1. In the Orioles batting lineup, their first baseman, Ryan Mountcastle, went 2 for 4 with a run, and then their third baseman, Kelvin Gutierrez, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Baltimore Orioles are now 3-6. That is the worst record in the American League East. They are currently sitting 2.5 games behind the division-leading Toronto Blue Jays at the moment. With this loss, the New York Yankees are now 5-5. They are tied with the Tampa Bay Rays for the third best record in the American League East. They are sitting one full game behind the division-leading Blue Jays. Taking a look at what happened in Pittsburgh, the Pirates would host the Washington Nationals as the Nationals would get the first 3 runs of the game. The Pirates would score 2 runs in the 6th, and once they were trailing by 1, it would be a wild pitch that tied the game with them, and it would be an RBI single from Michael Chavis, followed by a ground out forced by Tsutsugo that would bring another run home as the Pirates would win this game by 2. On the losing end of this matchup, the Washington Nationals were led out by their starting pitcher, Patrick Corbin. He allowed 2 earned runs off of 3 hits in 5.1 innings pitched. He would strike out 4 batters and walk 3 before he was pulled in the 6th inning. The loss was given to the Nationals' second relief pitcher on the day, Steve Cishek. Cishek allowed 3 earned runs off of 3 hits as he would start the 6th inning, but he would get pulled. This would be his first blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's now 0-1. In the Nationals batting lineup, their first baseman Josh Bell would go 2 for 4. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Pittsburgh Pirates were led out by their starting pitcher, Jose Quintana. Quintana allowed 3 earned runs off of 5 hits in the 4 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 2 batters and walk 3. The win was given to the Pirates setup relief pitcher in this matchup, as this would go to Heath Hembree. Hembree would allow no earned runs as he would finish off the 7th and pitch the entire 8th inning. He only allowed 1 hit in that span. He struck out a batter and walked 1 as well. With this win, Heath Hembree is 1-0 on the year. The save would be given to the Pirates closer, David Bednar. He allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning as he struck out a batter and walked 1. This would be his very first save of the year. In the Pirates batting lineup, their third baseman, Michael Chavis, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their left fielder, Ben Gamel, went 2 for 4 with an RBI as well. With this win, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 5-4. That is currently they're tied with the Chicago Cubs for the second best record in the National League Central, as the Pirates have now won their last 2 games. They are sitting half a game behind the division-leading St. Louis Cardinals at the moment. With this loss, the Washington Nationals are 4-7. That is the worst record in the National League East. They've lost their last 2 games. They currently trail the division-leading New York Mets by 3.5 games. Taking a look at what happened in Boston, the Red Sox hosted the Minnesota Twins. The Red Sox would end up beating the Twins 8-1. They never gave the Twins a lead in the first place, and they would also go on to score 6 runs in the 8th inning. On the losing end of this matchup, the Minnesota Twins were led out by their starting pitcher, Bailey Ober. Ober would go on to allow 2 runs off of 4 hits in the 6 innings he pitched. He would strike out 3 batters and walk 1, and he would pick up the loss for Minnesota. With his loss, he's now 1-1. In the Twins batting lineup, their third baseman, Gio Urshela, was the only player with more than 1 hit as he went 2 for 4. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Boston Red Sox were led out by their starting pitcher, Michael Wacha. He allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in the 5 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 5 batters and walk 2. The win was given to the Red Sox first relief pitcher, Matt Strahm. Strahm allowed 1 earned run off of 1 hit in the 1.1 innings he pitched as he was pulled in the 6th. He would pick up a strikeout, and with this win, he's now 1-0. In the Red Sox batting lineup, their elite third baseman, Rafael Devers, would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Their elite shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs as well. With this win, the Boston Red Sox are 5-4. That is the second best record in the American League East as they've won their last 2 games. They sit half a game behind the division-leading Toronto Blue Jays at the moment. With this loss, the Minnesota Twins are 3-6. That is the worst record in the American League Central as they've now lost their last 2 games. They sit 3 whole games behind the division-leading Chicago White Sox. Taking a look at what's happening in Toronto, the Blue Jays would end up beating the Athletics 4-3 as they would score in the first 3 innings of the game, and then after a hiatus in the 4th, they would score in the 5th as well. They never gave the A's a chance to take the lead. On the losing end of this matchup, the Athletics were led out by their starting pitcher, Adam Oller. Oller would allow 3 runs in 3.1 innings as he would strike out 3 batters and walk 3. With this loss, he is now 0-1 on the season. In the Athletics batting lineup, their second baseman, Tony Kemp, went 2 for 3. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Toronto Blue Jays were led out by their starting pitcher, Alek Manoah. Manoah would allow 2 earned runs off of 4 hits in the 6 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 6 batters and walk 2. With this win, he is now 2-0 on the year, and the save would, of course, go to their closer, Jordan Romano. Romano would allow no earned runs in the 9th inning as he would walk a batter. This would be his 6th save of the year. In the Blue Jays batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Bo Bichette, went 2 for 4. Their left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel, went 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. And with this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are 6-4. That is the best record in the American League East, as they are sitting half a game ahead of the second place Boston Red Sox at the moment. Only the Chicago White Sox have a better record in the American League right now. With this loss, the Oakland Athletics are now 5-5. That is the 3rd best record in the AL West, as they are tied with the Seattle Mariners. The Athletics sit 1 full game behind the division-leading LA Angels at the moment. Jumping out to New York, the New York Mets would go on to host the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Mets would shut the Diamondbacks out. They won it 5-0 as they would pick up their 7th win of the season. They would be one of 3 teams in the MLB to be the first team to pick up 7 wins. On the losing end of this matchup, the Arizona Diamondbacks were led out by their starting pitcher, Humberto Castellanos. Castellanos would allow no earned runs and only 1 hit in the 4 innings that he pitched. He would strike out a batter and walk 3. The loss was given to the Diamondbacks' second relief pitcher, Noe Ramirez. He would allow 2 earned runs in .2 innings as he would finish the 5th and then get pulled in the 6th. With this loss, he's 0-1. In the Diamondbacks batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, and that would be attributed to great pitching from the Mets. The Mets were led out by their starting pitcher, David Peterson. Peterson would allow no earned runs and only 3 hits before he got pulled in the 5th inning. He would strike out 4 batters and walk 2. The win for the Mets was given to their second relief pitcher, Chasen Shreve. Shreve would allow no earned runs as he pitched 2 innings. He pitched the 6th and 7th innings. He would strike out 2 batters in that span, and with his win, he's now 1-0. In the Mets batting lineup, their third baseman, Eduardo Escobar, would go 2 for 3 with a run. He was the only player in the game with more than 1 hit. The Mets' elite designated hitter, Pete Alonso, would go 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 3rd home run of the year. With this win, the New York Mets are 7-3. That is the best record in the National League East, as they are sitting 2.5 games ahead of the defending champs Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins. Only the Dodgers and the Giants have 1 less loss than them, so they are holding the 3rd best record in the National League at the moment. With this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are 3-6. That is the worst record in the National League West. They are trailing the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants by 4 games in the division at the moment. Taking a look at what happened in Cleveland, the Cleveland Guardians hosted the San Francisco Giants. The Giants would beat the Guardians, as the Giants are now holding a 5-game winning streak, but is still not the longest in the major leagues. They would score all 8 of their runs before the Guardians scored their lone run in the 7th. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Guardians were led out by their starting pitcher, Aaron Savali. He allowed 4 runs off of 4 hits in the 4 innings that he pitched, as he would strike out 5. He would also walk a batter as well. With his loss, Aaron Savali is 0-1. In the Guardians batting lineup, nobody on their team would finish with more than 1 hit, as that would be, of course, a feather in Alex Wood and the Giants pitching staff's cap. Alex Wood led the way for the Giants, picking up his first win of the year. He allowed no earned runs off of 4 hits in the 5 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 5 batters and walk 2. Alex Wood is 1-0 on the season. In the Giants batting lineup, their left fielder, Jock Peterson, went 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Their shortstop, Brandon Crawford, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. And then their second baseman, Thairo Estrada, would go 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. Estrada hit his 2nd home run of the season. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are tied with the Los Angeles Dodgers for the best record in the National League, and they're also tied with the Dodgers for the best record in all of baseball. The Giants have won their last 5 games. Alongside the Dodgers, they sit 1 game ahead of the 3rd place Colorado Rockies. With this loss, the Cleveland Guardians are 4-5. They are tied with the Detroit Tigers for the 2nd best record in the American League Central. The Guardians have now lost their last 3 games. They trailed the division leaders by 2 whole games at the moment. Taking a look at what happened in Miami, the Marlins would host the Philadelphia Phillies. The Marlins beat the Phillies 11-3 after scoring 7 of their runs in the second, third, and fourth inning. On the losing end of this matchup, the Philadelphia Phillies were led out by their starting pitcher, Zach Wheeler. He allowed 7 earned runs off of 8 hits in the 3 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 3 batters and walk 3, and with this loss, Zach Wheeler is 0-2. In the Phillies batting lineup, their elite designated hitter, the reigning National League MVP, Bryce Harper, went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his second home run of the year. Their left fielder, Kyle Schwarber, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as well. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Miami Marlins were led out by their starting pitcher, Elise Hernandez. He would allow no earned runs off of the 5 hits he allowed in 6 innings. He would strike out 5 batters and walk 1. With this win, Hernandez is 1-1. In the Marlins batting lineup, their center fielder, Jesus Sanchez, went 3 for 6 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their second baseman, Jazz Chisholm Jr., went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Their right fielder, Brian De La Cruz, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as well. Not to mention their shortstop, Miguel Rojas, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as well. With this win, the Miami Marlins are 4-5. That they are currently holding the 3rd best record in the National League East. They sit 2.5 games behind the division-leading New York Mets. With this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are 4-6. That is the 4th best record in the NL East. They are sitting 3 whole games behind the division-leading New York Mets at the moment. Taking a look at what happened in Chicago, the AL Central leading White Sox hosted the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays would beat the White Sox 9-3. They never really gave the White Sox a chance to take the lead after they scored 4 runs in the first inning of the game, as 2 of those runs in that first inning were off walks. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Chicago White Sox were led out by their starting pitcher, Vince Velasquez. He allowed 4 runs off of 5 hits in 4.2 innings as he struck out 5 and walked 3. With this loss, Vince Velasquez is 0-1. In the White Sox batting lineup, nobody on their team would finish with more than 1 hit as their designated hitter, Gavin Sheets, would hit his first home run of the year. He went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. On the winning end of this matchup, the Tampa Bay Rays were led out by their starting pitcher, JP Feyereisen. Feyereisen would only pitch 2 innings as he allowed no earned runs and no hits as he would strike out 3. The win was given to the Rays' first relief pitcher, Chris Mazza. Mazza would allow 2 runs in 2.1 innings pitched. He would strike out 1 and walk 5 before getting pulled in the 5th inning. With this win, he's now 1-0. In the Rays batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Wander Franco, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their elite designated hitter and reigning Rookie of the Year, Randy Arozarena, went 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run. And their right fielder, Manuel Margot, went 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run as well. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 5-5. That is the 3rd best record in the American League East as they are tied with the New York Yankees. All in all, they trail the division-leading Blue Jays by 1 whole game in the division. With this loss, the Chicago White Sox are 6-3. That is the best record in the American League Central, and they still have the best record in the American League win percentage-wise. They sit 2 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians and the Detroit Tigers, who are tied for 2nd place. Taking a look at what happened in Milwaukee, the defending National League Central champs, the Milwaukee Brewers, would host the St. Louis Cardinals. The Brewers would end up beating the Cardinals 6-5, as they never really gave the Cardinals a chance to lead thanks to their 2 runs in the 7th. On the losing end of this matchup, the St. Louis Cardinals were led out by their starting pitcher, Dakota Hudson. Hudson would go on to allow 4 runs off of 3 hits in the 3 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 2 batters and walk 2, and with this loss, Dakota Hudson is 0-1. In the Cardinals batting lineup, their elite 3rd baseman, Nolan Arenado, would go on to finish going 2 for 4 with a run on the day, as Nolan Arenado had a birthday not that long ago. But of course, he's still, playing the way you'd expect him to. Not to mention that their future Hall of Fame designated hitter, Albert Pujols would go 1-for-3 with 3 RBIs and a run as he played most of his career in St. Louis. Second home run back with the team. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Milwaukee Brewers were led out by their starting pitcher Aaron Ashby. Ashby would allow 3 runs off of 2 hits in the 4 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 4 and walk 4. The win was given to the Brewers' first relief pitcher, Jake Cousins. He would allow no earned runs off of 1 hit in the 5th inning as he struck out a batter. The save was given to the Brewers' elite closer, Josh Hader. He allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning as he would strike out 2 batters. This would be his 4th save of the year. In the Brewers batting lineup, their right fielder, former National League MVP Andrew McCutchen, would go 2-for-3 with an RBI and a run. Also, their center fielder, Tyrone Taylor, would go 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs. With this win, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 5-5. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They now sit a full game behind the division-leading St. Louis Cardinals at the moment, as the Cardinals are sitting at 5-3. Sitting at the top, the Cardinals are sitting half a game ahead of the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are tied for the 2nd best record in the division. Jumping out to Arlington, the Texas Rangers would host the Los Angeles Angels. The LA Angels would end up beating the Rangers 8-3 as the Angels hold the best record in their division. The Angels would see themselves break away from the Rangers. They were up by 2 up until the 6th inning, where they would see 2 runs come from Velasquez and Tyler Wade's singles to, of course, increase their lead to 3, and they would run away with it after that. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Texas Rangers were led out by their starting pitcher, Martin Perez. Perez would go on to allow 4 runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 5 and walked 3. With this loss, Perez is 0-2 on the year. In the Rangers batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their left fielder, Nick Solak. On the winning end of this matchup, the LA Angels were led out by their starting pitcher, Jose Suarez. Suarez would allow 3 earned runs off of 5 hits in the 4.1 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 3 batters and walk 3. The win for the Angels was given to their first relief pitcher, Mike Mayers. Mayers would allow no earned runs as he finished off the 5th inning. With this win, he's now 1-0. In the Angels batting lineup, their first baseman, Matt Duffy, went 3-for-5 with an RBI. And then their second baseman on the day, Tyler Wade, would end up going 2-for-3 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are 6-4. That is the best record in the American League West. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won, of course, 6 of their first 10 of the season. They are sitting half a game ahead of the second-place Houston Astros, who are the defending American League champs within their division. With this loss, the Texas Rangers are now 2-7. That is the worst record in the American League West, as they've now lost their last 3 games, and they are now currently holding the worst record in the American League. The only team that has a worse record than them right now are the Cincinnati Reds, as the Reds have 1 more loss than them. But the Rangers do have the worst record in the American League, like I just said. In their division, they trail the Angels, who are leading it, by 3.5 games. Taking a look at what happened in the Mile High City, the Colorado Rockies hosted the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs would beat the Rockies 6-4 after scoring 4 runs in the first 3 innings of the game. On the losing end of this matchup, the Colorado Rockies were led out by their starting pitcher, Austin Gomber. Gomber allowed 5 runs off of 8 hits in the 4.1 innings he pitched. He would strike out 2 and walk 4 before getting pulled in the 5th. In the Rockies batting lineup, their left fielder, Connor Joe, went 2-for-4, and their right fielder, Randall Grichuk, would go 2-for-4. Additionally, their center fielder, Jonathan Daza, went 2-for-3. On the winning end of this matchup, the Chicago Cubs were led out by their starting pitcher, Drew Smyly, the reigning World Series champ. He would allow no earned runs and 4 hits in the 4.2 innings he pitched. He would strike out 4 batters and walk 1. The win would be given to the Cubs' setup relief pitcher, Rowan Wick. He would allow no earned runs in the 8th inning as he allowed a hit. He would strike out 2. With this win, Wick is now 1-0. And the save was given to the Cubs closer, David Robertson. He would allow no earned runs in the 9th as he struck out 1. And, of course, on the winning end of this matchup, the Chicago Cubs were led out by their infielder Nick Madrigal. Their second baseman would go 3 for 5 with 2 runs, and then their catcher Yan Gomes would go 2 for 5 with an RBI. Additionally, Chicago shortstop Nico Horner would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. With this win, the Chicago Cubs are now 5-4. That is the second best record in the National League Central, as they are tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates. With this loss, the Colorado Rockies are 6-3. That is the third best record in the National League West, as they now sit a full game behind the LA Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants at the top of the division. Taking a look at what happened in Los Angeles, the Dodgers would end up beating the Reds to extend their winning streak to 6, the longest active winning streak in baseball, as they extended the Reds' losing streak into the longest losing streak in baseball. The Dodgers won this game 9-1 after they scored 7 runs in the 4th inning alone, as, of course, big scoring plays from the Dodgers, of course, capped off by their newest first baseman. On the losing end of this matchup, the Cincinnati Reds were led out by their starting pitcher, Tyler Mahle. Mahle would allow 7 earned runs off of 7 hits in the 3.2 innings he pitched. He would strike out 5 batters and walk 2, and with this loss, he's 0-1. In the Reds batting lineup, nobody on their team would finish with more than 1 hit, as that would be attributed to great pitching from the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers were led out by their starting pitcher, Andrew Heaney. He allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in the 6 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 11 batters and walk 3, and with this win, he's now 1-0. In the Dodgers batting lineup, their elite first baseman and reigning champion, Freddie Freeman, would go 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. He would hit 4 singles on the day, and of course, their designated hitter for the day, Justin Turner, would go 2 for 3 with a run. With this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 7-2. They are tied with the San Francisco Giants for the best record in all of baseball, as the Dodgers have now won their last 6 games. They have the longest active winning streak. The Dodgers and the Giants are both sitting 1 game over the third-place Colorado Rockies in their division. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are 2-8. That is the worst record in all of baseball. They've lost their last 6 games, which is the longest active losing streak in baseball. And in their division, they are trailing the division-leading St. Louis Cardinals by 4 whole games at the moment. Jumping out to Seattle, the Mariners hosted the defending American League champs, the Houston Astros. The Mariners would beat the Astros 7-2 after they scored 5 runs in the 4th inning. 3 of those runs coming off of a home run from Ty France. On the losing end of this matchup, the Astros were led out by their starting pitcher, Jose Urquidy. He allowed 6 earned runs off of 8 hits in the 4 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 2 batters and walk 1, and with this loss, Urquidy is 1-1. In the Astros batting lineup, their designated hitter, Michael Brantley, went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Brantley hit his very first home run of the season for Houston. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Seattle Mariners were led out by their starting pitcher, Matt Brash. Matt Brash would go on to hit. He would allow 2 earned runs off of 2 hits in the 5.1 innings that he pitched. He would strike out 5 batters and walk 6. With this win, Brash is 1-1. In the Mariners batting lineup, their second baseman, Adam Frazier, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman, Ty France, went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs, as France hit his second home run of the year. And then their right fielder, Jared Kelenic, would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs. With this win, the Seattle Mariners are 5-5. That is the third best record in the American League West, as they are tied with the Oakland Athletics. They are sitting 1 full game behind the division-leading LA Angels. With this loss, the Houston Astros are 5-4. That is the second best record in the American League West, as they sit half a game behind the Los Angeles Angels. Last but not least, looking at the game that was on prime time, the San Diego Padres hosted the defending champs Atlanta Braves. The Padres have beat the Braves 2-1 as both of their runs were scored in the second inning. Austin Nola was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, so that'll be the first run. And then Jake Cronenworth grounded out, but of course that run would come home. On the losing end of this matchup, the Atlanta Braves were led out by their starting pitcher in this matchup, Bryce Elder. Elder would allow 2 earned runs off of 3 hits as he pitched 4.1 innings. He would strike out 3 batters and walk 5 before getting pulled in the 5th inning on the losing end of it. With his loss, he's now 1-1. And in the Braves batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their first baseman, Matt Olson, as he went 2 for 4. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown San Diego Padres were led out by their elite starting pitcher, Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish would allow 1 earned run off of 4 hits in the 6.2 innings he pitched. He would strike out 8, and with this win, he's now 1-1. The save would be given to the Padres closer, Taylor Rogers. He allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning as he struck out 2. This is Rogers' 4th save of the year. And no one on the Padres would finish with more than 1 hit, as Ha-Sung Kim and their second baseman C.J. Abrams would each finish with a run on the day, with both of the runs they needed. With this win, the San Diego Padres are now 6-5. That is the 4th best record in the National League West. They sit 2 whole games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. With this loss, the defending champs Atlanta Braves are 5-6. That is the 2nd best record in the National League West, as they sit 2.5 games behind the division-leading New York Mets. That is what the MLB is looking like following yesterday's games. Taking a look at what's going on today, and because today is Monday, there are going to be no primetime games, but jumping through the games one at a time, at 11:10 in Fenway, Rich Hill and the Boston Red Sox are going to host Dylan Bundy and the Minnesota Twins. Dylan Bundy still has yet to allow an earned run this season. At 6:10, Tristan McKenzie and the Cleveland Guardians are going to host Dallas Keuchel and the Chicago White Sox. Tristan McKenzie enters this matchup with an 0-1 record, holding a 2.57 ERA for just after his first start. At 7:05 at Nationals Park, Josiah Gray and the Washington Nationals are going to host Madison Bumgarner and the Arizona Diamondbacks. At 7:10 on ESPN Plus, Tyler McGill and the New York Mets are going to host Alex Cobb and the San Francisco Giants. Tyler McGill enters his matchup with a 2-0 record, as he still has yet to allow an earned run. At 7:40, Eric Lauer and the Milwaukee Brewers are going to host Zach Thompson and the Pittsburgh Pirates. At 7:40 at the same time, Kyle Hendricks and the Chicago Cubs are going to host Shane McClanahan and the Tampa Bay Rays. McClanahan enters his matchup with an 0-1 record, holding a 3.0 ERA. At 8:10 in Minute Maid Park, Luis Garcia and the Houston Astros are going to host Michael Lorenzen and the LA Angels. Garcia still has yet to register a win, a loss, or even an earned run this season. Michael Lorenzen enters his matchup with a 1-0 record, holding a 1.50 ERA. At 8:40 on Coors Field, Chad Kuhl and the Colorado Rockies are going to host Aaron Nola and the Phillies. Chad Kuhl has yet to get a decision, as he's holding a 2.08 ERA. At 9:40 in Oakland, Frankie Montas and the Oakland Athletics are going to host Spencer Watkins and the Baltimore Orioles. Watkins they're both coming into this matchup looking to pick up a very big win. At 9:40 at the same time, Sean Manaea and the San Diego Padres are going to host Nick Lodolo and the Cincinnati Reds. Reds hold the worst record in baseball, as Sean Manaea enters his matchup with a 1-1 record, holding a 1.38 ERA. Last but not least, at 10:10 in Dodger Stadium, the LA Dodgers, led by their goated starting pitcher Clayton Kershaw, are going to host the defending World Series champs Atlanta Braves, led by Huascar Ynoa. Clayton Kershaw enters his matchup with a 1-0 record, as he did not allow a run in his very first matchup. So that is what baseball is looking like as we get to today. Taking a look at what's going on with soccer yesterday, starting with the FA Cup in England to decide who was going to play against Liverpool. Chelsea would end up beating Crystal Palace 2-0, as their goals came in the second half from Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount. So that is going to be settling the FA Cup final championship, as I believe is going to be played in about a month's time. Taking a look at what happened in the domestic leagues themselves, and then kind of skipping over the Premier League itself, as the bigger games were in the FA Cup this week. Looking at what happened in Liga, the French leaders, Paris Saint-Germain, were able to beat the second best team in France, Olympique Marseille, 2-1. PSG's first goal came from their elite Brazilian forward Neymar, and after Marseille would tie the game up, it would be a penalty kick from PSG's elite forward Kylian Mbappe to put them up, and that would, of course, give them the win. And looking at where they stand, they are currently sitting 15 points ahead of second place Marseille in the table. I imagine with one more win, PSG should be able to lock up Ligue 1 and win that title with a very big win over a very competent Marseille team. Taking a look at what happened in Spain as well yesterday, the two Madrid teams would get their games going. At the top, Real Madrid would end up beating Sevilla 3-2. Sevilla would actually score the very first 2 goals of the game from Ivan Rakitic and Eric Lamela. It was 2-0 at halftime. Real Madrid's second half would see them get goals from Rodrigo in the 50th minute, Nacho in the 82nd to tie it up, and of course their game-winning goal would be scored by Karim Benzema in the 92nd minute. With this win, Real Madrid now sits 15 points ahead of second place Barcelona with 2 more games played in the schedule, as Sevilla is now sitting even with Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. They have as many games played as Atletico, as Barcelona has 2 less games played than both those teams, as Barca can run away with the second best record. Real Madrid has not officially clinched the league yet, but that was still a very big win that Real Madrid was able to come up with. Atletico Madrid was able to beat Espanyol 2-1, as they would see 2 second-half goals from Yanni Carrasco, second of which in the 100th minute in 10 minutes plus extra in the second half. With this win, Atletico is sitting even with Sevilla for the third best record with 2 more games played than Barcelona, as they sit even with Barcelona as well. They sit 3 points ahead of fifth place Real Betis, so that was a very big win. Overall, they sit 15 points behind first place Real Madrid, but that was still a big win that Atletico Madrid needed, especially if they're trying to compete in Champions League next year. And then jumping out to Germany, the reigning Bundesliga champs Bayern Munich would beat Arminia Bielefeld 3-0. Their first goal would be an own goal from Arminia. Their second goal would end the first half off of a goal from their elite German winger Serge Gnabry, and then the last goal will come from their young German midfielder Jamal Musiala, as his 85th minute goal will give Bayern Munich 3 goals and 3 points in the Bundesliga table. Right now, they are currently sitting 9 points ahead of second place Borussia Dortmund. Their next matchup is against Dortmund, and if Bayern win that game, they should run away with the title, as they have 4 games left in their Bundesliga season. So that is what Bayern Munich is looking like. Looking at the third best team in Germany, RB Leipzig was able to beat Bayer Leverkusen 1-0, as their goal came from Dominik Szoboszlai. With this win, they were able to leapfrog over Bayer Leverkusen for the third best record, as Leverkusen now drops to 4th. Leverkusen sits only 1 point ahead of fifth place SC Freiburg, as RB Leipzig, now sitting in third, sits 2 points ahead of Leverkusen and 9 points below second place Borussia Dortmund, as they're trying to put themselves in a great position for Champions League next year. And that is virtually everything from yesterday. Taking a look at what's going on today as we move one day at a time. Starting first with La Liga in Spain. Barcelona is looking to take over that second spot in Spain as they host Cadiz today. They sit even with Sevilla and Atletico Madrid with 2 less games played. A win or a draw would put them into second place definitively. Their opponents, Cadiz, are holding the third worst record in Spain and are in threat of being relegated to the second division in Spain. In Italy, it looks as though the top team that is going to be playing today will be Napoli, as they are going to be hosting AS Roma at 1 o'clock. Napoli holds the third best record and Roma holds the 5th. Napoli sits 3 points behind second place Inter, as a win here could at least even them up with Inter. Roma sits 6 points below fourth place Juventus, so if Roma wants to make it into Champions League, they definitely need to win this matchup. And then not to mention Atalanta is going to be facing off against Hellas Verona, as Atalanta holds the 8th best record in Italy. That is all that I have for you today and Monday, April 18th, 2022. I do want to thank the ESPN, NBA, MLB, and FIFA websites for all the stats and the figures for giving me, that I needed in order to do this episode. I would not be able to do this without them. And of course, I just want to thank everyone for listening 47 minutes of this piece. I do hope all is well. It's just been a crazy journey. Thanks for listening. I hope all is well. And you can really kind of listen to these anytime. I really don't mind. And I'm really glad that you do. I put in a lot of work. And I also notice that a lot of these people every single day are putting in work as well. So with that said, thanks for listening. I hope all is well. I will catch you with more tomorrow on Tuesday, April 19th, to cover what happened today. And with that said, I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Thanks for listening to my piece, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace out.